The words hit me like a freight train. Director Patricia Williams sat across from me in the sterile conference room. Her manicured fingers drummed against the mahogany table, the same table where I'd presented client after client, victory after victory. 5 years of my life, gone in one sentence. My name is Marcus Rodriguez. I'd been the top performer in client relations at Meridian Financial for 3 straight years. I knew every client's birthday, their kids' names, their investment goals. I'd turned handshakes into million-dollar accounts. The morning had started like any other. Coffee at 6, gym at 6:30, office by 8. I'd even brought donuts for the team, the same Boston cream Patricia loved. Now she wouldn't meet my eyes. There's been a restructuring, she continued. Her voice was clinical, cold. We're moving in a different direction. My mouth went dry. What direction? That's confidential. Confidential. After I'd given them everything. The security guard appeared at the door, right on cue, like they'd rehearsed this. You have 15 minutes to clear your desk. 15 minutes. For 5 years of loyalty. I walked to my office in a daze. My hands shook as I packed my awards, my client photos, the thank you cards from families whose retirements I'd secured. Janet from accounting whispered as I passed, "Marcus, what's happening?" I couldn't answer, couldn't process it myself. My desk drawer stuck. Inside was the Meridian Financial Core Values plaque they'd given me. Integrity, excellence, client first. The irony burned. Security escorted me out through the lobby, past the marble fountain, past the wall of top performers. My photo still hung there, smiling, naive. The revolving door spun behind me. I stood on the sidewalk, briefcase in hand, career in ruins. My phone buzzed. A text from my biggest client, Robert Chen. "Marcus, tried calling your office. Some woman named Jessica answered. Says she's my new account manager. Call me." Jessica? Patricia's niece. Fresh out of college, zero experience. The pieces clicked into place. This wasn't about restructuring. This was about theft. I drove home to my empty apartment, takeout containers on the counter, unopened mail stacked high. I'd lived at the office, breathed the company mission. For what? The news hit the office like wildfire. My phone exploded with calls, texts, voicemails from colleagues who couldn't believe it. "Marcus, it's Dave from Legal. This is insane. Call me back." "Marcus, it's Tommy. Patricia's moving Jessica into your office. What the hell?" But the call that broke me came at midnight. "Mr. Rodriguez, this is Eleanor Hartwell." Eleanor, 83 years old, widowed. I'd managed her late husband's pension for 3 years. "Dear, I'm so confused. This Jessica girl called today. She wants to move my investments into something called high-yield bonds. It doesn't sound right." My blood turned to ice. Eleanor's portfolio was conservative by design, safe, stable. Those bonds were junk, high commission for the broker, disaster for the client. "Eleanor, don't sign anything, promise me." "But she says it's what you recommended." They were using my name, my reputation, to steal from my clients. I hung up and stared at the ceiling. 5 years of relationships, trust. I'd built brick by brick. They were weaponizing it against the people I'd sworn to protect. Sleep didn't come. I paced my apartment until dawn, made a decision that would change everything. I started making calls. "Robert, it's Marcus. We need to talk." "Eleanor, it's Marcus. About those bonds Jessica mentioned." "Mrs. Patterson, this is urgent." One by one, I reached out, warned them, protected them. Some listened, others had already signed. The damage was spreading. By noon, my phone rang, Patricia's number. "Marcus?" Her voice was ice. "You're interfering with company business." "I'm protecting my clients." "They're not your clients anymore. They're people, Patricia, not portfolio numbers. You signed a non-compete, a non-disclosure. Stop calling them or we'll sue." She hung up. I stared at the phone. The threats were starting, but I couldn't stop. Not when Eleanor's retirement was at stake. Not when the Pattersons' kids' college funds hung in the balance. That afternoon, I got a text from Tommy. "Dude, you need to see this. Meet me at Murphy's bar, back booth." Murphy's was our usual spot. Dim lighting, sticky floors, far from corporate ears. Tommy slid a manila envelope across the table. Patricia's been planning this for months, he whispered. Jessica's been shadowing your client calls, taking notes, learning their weaknesses. Inside the envelope were photocopies, my client files, my personal notes, my strategies, all marked with Jessica's handwriting. She's been studying you, Marcus, like a playbook. My hands clenched. How long have you known? I found these yesterday, in Jessica's desk. Tommy's eyes darted around the bar. There's more. Patricia's been bad-mouthing you to upper management, saying you're unreliable. That clients complain. Lies, all lies. She's covering her tracks, I said, making my firing look justified. Tommy nodded. Dave from legal wants to talk to you. Unofficially. The next morning, I met Dave at a coffee shop downtown. He looked nervous, kept checking over his shoulder. Marcus, what I'm about to tell you could cost me my job. He pulled out his laptop, showed me internal emails. Patricia's been siphoning your clients for weeks, moving them to high-commission products. The company's getting kickbacks from the investment firms. The emails were damning. Patricia to Jessica. Move the elderly clients first. They trust Marcus's recommendations blindly. Jessica to Patricia. Rodriguez called Mrs. Hartwell. She's asking questions. Patricia's response? Handle it. Use the legal threats. My vision blurred with rage. Dave, this is fraud. I know, but proving it is another story. Patricia's been careful, nothing directly traceable. What about these emails? Obtained illegally, won't hold up in court. I felt the walls closing in. They had the law on their side, the resources, the power. But I had something they didn't. The truth. That evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Rodriguez? This is James Patterson? My heart sank. The Pattersons had 3 kids, all college-bound. James, please tell me you didn't. We signed the papers yesterday. Jessica was very convincing. Said you personally recommended the investment. Another family destroyed. Another trust betrayed. I hung up and screamed into my pillow. This was my fault. I'd built these relationships, created the trust they were exploiting. Every client they hurt was blood on my hands. The depression hit like a wave. I stopped showering, stopped eating, ignored my phone. Patricia had won. 3 days later, someone pounded on my door. Marcus, open up! It was Tommy. Behind him stood Dave, and someone I didn't recognize. Marcus, meet Lisa Chen, investigative journalist. She wants to hear your story. Lisa was sharp, mid-30s, notebook in hand, hungry eyes. Mr. Rodriguez, I've been tracking financial fraud cases. Your situation fits a pattern. She spread photos across my coffee table. Other companies, other employees, similar stories. Patricia Williams has done this before. Different firms, different cities, always the same playbook. My pulse quickened. You can prove this? With your help, yes, but I need documentation, evidence, inside access. I looked at Tommy and Dave. They nodded. We're in, Tommy said. All of us. For the first time in days, I felt hope. The plan was simple. Tommy would document Patricia's activities. Dave would preserve legal evidence. I would reconnect with clients, build a case from the outside. But Patricia wasn't stupid. She'd escalated her timeline. The next morning, Eleanor called in tears. Marcus, they've taken everything. My savings, my husband's pension, it's all gone. I gripped the phone so hard it cracked. Eleanor, I'm going to fix this. I promise. But promises felt hollow when an 83-year-old woman was choosing between medication and groceries. Lisa worked fast. Her investigation uncovered Patricia's history. Chicago, Denver, Seattle, always the same pattern: target top performers, steal their clients, disappear before the lawsuits hit. She's a parasite, Lisa said, feeds on trust, moves on when the host dies. The article was scheduled for publication in 2 days, but Patricia was moving faster. Tommy called in a panic. Marcus, she's liquidating everything, moving money offshore. By Friday, it'll all be gone. Friday was tomorrow. We were out of time. That's when Dave made the call that changed everything. Marcus, I'm done playing by their rules. He'd copied Patricia's hard drive. Every email, every document, every piece of evidence we needed. "This will cost me my job," he said, "but some things are more important than paychecks." Lisa's article hit the internet at midnight. The headline was perfect. "The Trust Thief: How One Director Stole $140 million in Client Assets." By morning, it had gone viral. My phone exploded with calls. Clients, colleagues, reporters, the state attorney general's office. Patricia's phone went straight to voicemail. But the real victory came at noon. A knock on my door, 2 FBI agents. "Mr. Rodriguez? We'd like to talk about Patricia Williams." The investigation moved fast. Patricia's offshore accounts were frozen. Jessica was arrested trying to board a plane to the Cayman Islands. The high commission investments were unwound. Most of the money was recovered. Eleanor got her pension back. The Pattersons' college funds were restored. Robert Chen sent me a bottle of champagne. Patricia was arrested at her beach house in Florida. The perp walk made national news. In court, she looked smaller somehow, defeated. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered Eleanor's tears. The judge sentenced Patricia to 12 years. Jessica got 5. Meridian Financial offered me my job back, triple salary, corner office, full benefits. I turned them down. Instead, I started my own firm. Rodriguez Financial, built on the values Meridian had forgotten. Tommy joined me. So did Dave. And half the old team. We opened with a simple motto: trust earned, trust kept. Our first client was Eleanor Hartwell. "Dear," she said, signing the paperwork, "I knew you'd make this right." 2 years later, we've grown to 50 employees, managed over $200 million in assets. Every client knows my personal cell number. Lisa won a Pulitzer for her investigation. We still grab coffee sometimes. Patricia writes me letters from prison, apologies, excuses, justifications. I don't read them anymore. But I kept the first one, framed it in my office, next to Eleanor's thank you card. A reminder that trust isn't a commodity, it's a sacred responsibility. Last week, a young advisor asked me for career advice. "Build relationships, not portfolios," I told him. "Money follows trust, never the other way around." He nodded eagerly, scribbled notes. Reminded me of myself 5 years ago. Before Patricia, before the betrayal, before I learned that integrity isn't just a company value. It's a choice. Every day, every client, every decision, I chose right, and that makes all the difference. The morning sun streams through my office window. Same view as Meridian, different perspective entirely. My phone buzzes. Eleanor's grandson wants to discuss his first investment. The cycle continues. Trust passed from generation to generation, exactly as it should be. I answer the phone with a smile. "Rodriguez Financial, Marcus speaking. How can I help you today?" Because that's what it's all about. Helping people, building futures, keeping promises, one client at a time. Patricia thought she could steal my life's work. She was wrong. You can't steal what's built on truth, and the truth always wins. Eventually,